Next one is, which one of the following is used in preparing a natural mosquito repellent? I just put the question here because it's a direct species related. Congress grass, elephant grass, lemongrass, nut grass. As you know, the lemongrass has a certain scent from it or a secretion from it called as citronella. And the citronella is the reason why you have the ability, or you have that repellent quality coming out of it. So the answer to this question is C. The next question is, consider the following animals: hedgehog, marmot, pangolin. Which of the above species rolls up and protects its vulnerable parts? So you would have seen when something, you go and put a stimulus on it, some animals, they curl up. For example, a tortoise, if you've seen tortoise or a turtle, go and do something, it just goes inside its shell, right? So similarly, there is another feature called as volvation, wherein when met with any kind of stimulus, certain organisms just cover themselves up, turn into a full round structure, so that any of its important body organs does not get affected. Now, when you look at all three over here, one species that you all would have maybe seen for sure that has the ability to do it is your pangolin. Pangolin is this very scaly kind of organism. Whenever anyone comes and tries to attack it, this organism just gets into a ball form. It looks like a very scaly ball. Okay, so pangolin is correct. So in one answer you have 3 only, and then you have 1 and 3 also. When you look at 1 and 1 over here, and if 3 is correct, then 2 is directly eliminated over here, because why? There is no option which is actually having 2. Okay, so 2 is not part of your answer. Hedgehog again is a very spiny kind of a creature. What happens again, even the hedgehog, when attacked by something, either it tries to attack with its spines or it rolls into a ball. So the answer to this question is 1 and 3, that is D. The next question reads as, which of the following is a filter feeder? Now again, filter feeder is a process, it's a kind of process wherein, because of several reasons, I'll tell you what all are the several reasons it could be. The digestive tract of the organism might not be very complex. It might be very less evolved. That can be one reason. Second reason is, there is some restriction on the part of the organism to go and find food. That can be a second reason. In all of these scenarios, the organisms devise a method to find food, which is something called as filter feeding, wherein maybe on the organism it might have certain pores or something which will allow the passing of your water through it. Once the water is passed through it, what happens? It enters into the organism's body, and from there, whatever the organism needs, it gets filtered in. The rest of the water gets thrown out. Okay, so as I told you, it can be done maybe, for example, if the organism does not have a very evolved digestive tract, it will have to do this. Okay, because you don't have a part that can go and ingest and then digest and everything. It's a very flow-like thing. That can be one thing. And then if the organism cannot move from one place to another, then also. One very common kind of filter feeders that are currently in use is certain corals which are there. Not your normal corals that are there in tropical areas. Certain corals called as black corals. Black corals. They are known to be filter feeders. Even out of all of these, when you look at it, which one of the following is a filter feeder? Catfish, octopus, oyster, pelican. Now here, in the case of the oyster, you would have seen it just keeps, it opens, closes, opens. It's a shell-like thing that opens and closes. What primarily is happening? All of that water that just keeps flowing in any impurity or anything that is there, that is what gets formed into that pearl-like thing. But the rest of it, the water gets thrown out. So amongst all of this, your oyster, that is option C, is a filter feeder. If you're looking for other birds which are filter feeders, certain flamingos are filter feeders. Ducks, some of them are filter feeders. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements. Moringa, which is the drumstick tree, is a leguminous evergreen tree. Tamarind tree is endemic to South Asia. In India, most of the tamarind is collected as a minor forest produce. India exports tamarind and seeds of moringa. Seeds of moringa and tamarind can be used in the production of biofuels. What is one option that you can maybe even slightly, without thinking too much, maybe you can be like, yeah, maybe that could be correct. I am going for the fourth one, which says India exports tamarind and seeds of moringa, because I've seen it getting done in the markets where they, if you go to any abroad countries, you do find this tamarind, you find the moringa plants, you find the moringa leaves, everything. So fourth statement I know is for sure correct, but that helps me only less. Why? Because in all the major other options, you do have 4. Now, what else can be thought of? Anything else that can be maybe a possibility? They're saying moringa is a leguminous evergreen tree. Tamarind tree is endemic to South Asia. In India, most of the tamarind is collected as minor forest produce. So when it comes to the other statements over here, when you look at the first one, moringa is a leguminous evergreen tree, this entire statement is wrong. Why? Because moringa is non-leguminous. First one. Second thing is moringa is not even evergreen, it's deciduous. When you look at tamarind tree, they are saying tamarind tree is endemic to South Asia, but then tamarind tree is something that you see in Africa. It's a very important part of their diet actually. In Africa, you do see it in South America. So to say that it's endemic to South Asia, you can eliminate 2 first. And when you eliminate 2, again you are left with 3, 4 and 5, 1, 3 and 4. That concludes that 4 is correct, 3 is correct. That is, in India, most of the tamarind is collected as minor forest produce. Now, you just have to think if 1 or 5, which is correct. 1, I already told you it is not correct. 5th is seeds of moringa and tamarind can be used in the production of biofuels. Yes, that is also something that is explored right now. And the answer to this question is B. Okay. Now, from this question, again, one word that I would take off from this is your word leguminous. Leguminous. Okay, because this is in the next coming few questions, you will see that this is also one word, or this is also one topic that UPSC considers to be as a soft corner, and there were several questions on leguminous plants.